Well, Bill, one last thing before we move on from this. Do you think that FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, should quickly move towards relicensing DWR?
No, I think the license should be totally redone. I just did an op-ed for the paper about it. It was actually easy to write for so many reasons. One thing is the passage of time. It's been a decade. Mm-hmm. And we actually the county sued them because a long time ago, before this ever happened, we said, you didn't take into consideration the climate change that's happening, this warm rain on snow. And every decade, we've got the Pineapple Express warm rain on snow. Well, everybody's thinking, here we are in 17, 18, and in 16, 17, but it did it in 15, 16. Mm-hmm. The lake was low because of years and years of drought. They filled the lake. Mm-hmm. It was warm rain on snow. So it's 2 years in a row, and that could happen more and more often. So the whole operations of the dam have obviously got to change. It creates another issue that they're not talking freely about, but they're starting to indicate there's not enough cushion between 813 and 900 to have 150% of snow and warm rain. There's just not enough room. And there's not enough way, because it's been projected you could get inflows up to 440,000 cubic feet per second. The most they can put down the spillway and probably break a levee somewhere would be about 250. So there's not enough cushion. The bathtub, it's going to go to the overflow, the emergency spillway. That's probably one of the reasons we're working. So they either got to figure out how to keep the lake way lower, which impacts everybody, or they're going to have to figure out how to put a lower spillway in or some sort of huge gate valve in the bottom. The latter is probably, talking to people, probably not going to happen because they don't think the integrity of the internal tunnels are good enough. Beyond that, they shouldn't issue the license because no matter what they choose to do in the operations, it should be more scientifically done. It should be done with everything available to us from satellites to lasers, and it should be climate-based, not water delivery-based. Like the Army Corps is very linear. It's a certain date, certain amount of water. Garamendi, our congressman south of us, has told me in Washington, D.C., as a group of us actually, that they're doing that in Folsom. We should have that science here. Then the recreation impacts, because the lake is actually going to have to be held lower on these years for sure, right? Then you're going to have to extend the lanes and make them wider. You're going to have to make it more accessible. You're going to have to build different campgrounds. These things, let alone, they've never addressed the impacts of our out-of-pocket expenses to the community of Butte County. And then the community of Oroville bought off on this special benefit plan. It's $1 million a year, no escalators for 50 years. It sounds like a really good deal until you realize that they expect you to use the water to go out, the money from there to go out and fix state parks land at the forebay, or go fix something up by the lake. It really irritates me that all of us fell into that. So for these reasons and more, the license should be renegotiated with an open, honest dialogue with local people, and we shouldn't be out of pocket, and we should get most of the recreation that was promised us. State Parks runs the parks up there. They're continually underfunded, so they can't open gates for my rural people that live in Forbstown or Berry Creek and want to go to the lake. The lake won't open until 9 o'clock. Try going bass fishing at 9 o'clock, right? Things like that. I could go on for hours. I mean, my God. There used to be, I'm going to throw this at you. There used to be 35,000 people come to downtown Oroville for boat races on the river. We don't get 35,000 people any facility at the lake for boat races because they never built them. Where they ask them to go, the afterbay and the middle forebay, there's no shade structure. There's no restroom and shower facility. There's no vendors area. There's no camping there. And all of that they should be doing for our community. We're out of pocket. They should be building that stuff.
I'm foaming at the mouth.
Well, let's
quiet for the applause of our listeners.
We covered that really well.